Here's my long-term review on the Novation Twitch. For those of you who don't know, this is a mixing deck. You have deck A here, deck B here. It comes with the Itch software, Serato Itch, and when I first started using this with Itch, there were some software glitches in the first, second, and third versions, but the most recent update works fine. And if you haven't seen some of the connections, I'll lift this up for you and let you see what we have here. Well, let me turn this around. This is USB powered. You don't need any external power. You have a direct monitoring, aux gain, aux input. You have a booth output switch, master Q. You have a booth out, and you have a master out. One thing I will say is if you have another gain stage, I use this with another mixer to increase the gain stage, because the gain stage isn't all that great with the Novation Twitch, and that's one of the gripes I have. Another one is the touch strips. These aren't very natural at all for rewinding and scratching and other things turntablists like myself are used to, but I don't believe this was geared towards turntablists per se. I believe they tried to use this to go in a complete different direction in terms of DJing, and for what it's worth, it's an extremely fast control deck to use. The pitch control is great. You can actually click in, and when you click in, you can speed up how fast you're moving up and down the settings, or you can just leave it out and dial in the perfect setting for the pitch. And that's one of the features I found that works out pretty great. One other thing I noticed is sometimes auto sync engages when you don't press anything, and that's one of the features. That's one of the things I hope they can fix in an update, because you don't want everything to auto sync. And me myself, sometimes I echo songs out so I could bring in a song at its proper tempo. And if auto sync is in and you echo something out, you know what I mean, and you don't recognize that auto sync is on, you're going to bring in the song at the wrong tempo. And mind you, this mixer has a feature where you can engage an effect and control it from the fader. So while however you use this fader and control the fader, your hand could potentially block that sync button, and you don't realize it's on. And I'm sure a lot of you electronic DJs knows sometimes you're switching between songs so fast, you may not notice something like that right away. I mean, you will notice things like that at a glance, but when you're trying to switch between songs really fast and things turn on that aren't supposed to be on, that can potentially ruin your mix, and something that's 30 beats per minute faster or slower than a song that was on, and it's not supposed to be that fast or slow, people are going to be looking at you kind of sideways. But outside of that, I am extremely happy with the Novation Twitch and the way it works. I'd like to see where they're going to go next with it. My next deck, I definitely have to have something where I have a more natural feel with rewinding and scratching, because the touch strip doesn't get it for me. These pads are awesome. They actually trigger hot cues that you can cue for yourself, or a slicer, or an auto loop, or loop roll. What I really like to see are, in the next version, are pads where you can trigger samples. That's one thing I miss. I don't like what this allows you to do is not have to use your computer for anything at all. Even scrolling through songs, they have a real nice browser section here that allows you to scroll through your different folders and through the songs in your machine. But the only thing I noticed you ever had to touch the computer for are your samples. And I'm sure electronic DJs don't use samples that much, but being a DJ that DJs hip hop along with electronic, I would like to see some sample pads I don't know where they put them. Maybe you could add another inch here, and maybe just have 4 pads, or maybe just pad the whole entire bottom out, and you can give us, I don't know, 12 pads across the bottom. But aside from that, I also have to bring up the headphones, and the headphone amp in here is extremely nice. I haven't ever run into a situation where I wasn't able to turn the headphones up loud enough. That's a nice feature. There goes the mic input. I haven't used that mic input yet because, like I said, I do use this with an external mixer because the gain stage isn't really that powerful. Outside of that, after using this for about a year, all the encoders work fine. All the buttons work fine. I haven't ever run into a situation where anything gets stuck. The fader works extremely well, still smooth. I haven't heard any glitches, or I haven't had the need to replace any of these faders yet. And I use this probably on a daily basis because I use it in the studio also. So this machine has been put together extremely well, and it has provided to be extremely useful. So there isn't anything else bad I could say about this other than the gain stage and the fact that it doesn't have sample pads. It's a really nice machine, and really allows you to flow through your songs effortlessly, if I must say. So there's my long-term review on a Novation Twitch. I would suggest buying one, especially if you'd like an inexpensive deck, and especially if you don't use samples and you're not really a scratch DJ, you're more of an electronic DJ. I will point you in this direction. If you're on a budget, or if you just so happen to like the features and you don't need any of the features the other decks offer, I would definitely suggest purchasing the Novation Twitch.